dream and then do later work on that. It's incredible when we do dream work how the components of our dream, the people or things within it, which might appear to be inconsequential, actually have huge meaning for us. So fifthly, a mention of the star energies involved at this full moon. As I said, moon is at the end of Scorpio, which is the stars of the claws of the scorpion. And specifically, most closely, this full moon is conjunct the star Lesath, an energy of danger and poison, accidents and catastrophes. And this full moon is also conjunct the star Ras al-Hag, which can be a toxic energy and misfortune. But the thing is, out of these energies and the experience of them and the experience of their manifestation, states of consciousness can come to us which have a higher influence. It may be helpful to know that when you examine what your mind is doing at the time of the full moon. Sixthly, just to say, yes, the nodes of the moon have changed signs. And I've done, I think it's a 5 or 6 video and blog series all about the nodes of the moon changing sign into Aries and Libra. What does it mean to have Ketu transiting Libra, Rahu transiting Aries? You need to know. What does it mean when Rahu transits over one of your planets in Aries, if you have some? What does it mean when Ketu transits over your planets in Libra? Have a look at my videos and blogs on that. The nodes of the moon are in Aries, Libra for 18 months. It's crucially important to know what energies are being brought to you. So, seventh point, at the time of this full moon, Chiron is conjunct Mars. Chiron, the wounded healer. And Chiron conjunct Mars energy is such an important energy to understand, especially if you have it natally. What is Chiron Mars energy? Well, it's a wounding to the masculine principle in our life. And now, at the time of this full moon, when Chiron is conjunct Mars, it's definitely a good time to focus in your vision work and in your awareness, whether you are affected by this component energy of this full moon. You see, on the one hand, Chiron Mars aspects can indicate powerful creative energy which is wild and ruthless, merciless and caring not at all for others' feelings, even violence. The berserker, the warrior, the Amazon. And so if it manifests on that side of the polarity, you need to discover what you truly want, not just get swept along in a tide of meaningless activity. But on the other side of the polarity, Chiron Mars manifests the other way round. So in a woman, it can be a woman who's over-identified with what she can achieve, compelled to compete with men. Or conversely, a woman wounded by devaluing her own ability to achieve, and who might attract men who show the negative side of Mars, brutality or violence, or conversely, effeminacy. Now, Chiron Mars energy, which is in this full moon, in the case of a man, he feels his masculinity is somehow wounded. There's usually issues of failed fathering. Perhaps his childhood banished some vital Mars energy to the unconscious, shamed or whatever, for it to emerge later nasty and brutish, denied or obsessional. The man with Chiron Mars might mask his sensitivity by acting macho, or conversely, if it manifests the other way, he might seem docile, cultivated and refined and attract himself to a powerful woman. And she then receives from him his unconscious hostility, his denied violence and deception. So a man affected by Chiron Mars in this way will have to build from scratch his masculine identity and power. For example, through men's work, psychotherapeutic work, embodiment work, a long and difficult path. Do get a reading from me if you have natal Chiron conjunct Mars, and see at the time of this full moon, how are you experiencing Mars conjunct Chiron, which is part of this full moon's energy. So the 8th point, and there's 9 altogether, the 8th point is that Jupiter is unaspected at the time of this full moon. Jupiter is 11 degrees Pisces. If you look at the Western chart, you'll clearly see that Jupiter shows no aspect lines connecting it to any of the other planets of the chart for this full moon. And the point is, when a planet is unaspected, it means that we usually lose connection to the needed energies of the planet, can't connect to the needed energies of the planet. And we all need our Jupiter. But it also does mean that when an unaspected planet is activated by a progression or transit in our life, it can suddenly, as it were, take over. We can be swamped by the sudden activation of our normally unaspected, sort of dormant planet. We can make real gains and then we lose them when the activation fades away. So do check out your consciousness and awareness at this time to check, are you being pessimistic or weak? Are you lacking the expansiveness, guru connection and sense of purpose and blessing that is Jupiter? It might be the case because Jupiter is unaspected. So the last point that's important to know, point 9, is that Saturn is retrograde and Saturn is square the nodal axis. Saturn is retrograding at 1 degree Vedic Aquarius now, and the nodal axis is at 26 degrees Aries Libra, so it's a square within orb. So check out what effect in your life Saturn retrograde is now having. Are you needing to tie up loose ends? Are you needing to become more properly aware of limits, of responsibilities now? Check out what life area the sign Aquarius is in your birth chart. In other words, what house in your birth chart is Aquarius. That life area will be particularly affected. You can get a reading from me, and indeed in my Star Wheel Astrology website there's a page all about the affairs of each of the 12 houses, what life area is each of the 12 houses. Also prepare for the fact that Saturn is going to re-enter Capricorn. So you need to know also what life area, or what house in your chart therefore, Capricorn is for you. Saturn transited Vedic Capricorn from the 24th of January 2020. Saturn only briefly entered Aquarius, where he is now, only for 2.5 months, from the 29th of April to the 12th of July, turning retrograde on the 15th of June. So he's stationary around the 15th of June. This full moon's on the 14th. Saturn is so very, very, very powerful, the way he's engraving his effect. The slower a planet's velocity, the more powerful he engraves his energies on us. So Saturn doesn't actually leave Capricorn and become fully placed in Vedic Aquarius until the 17th of January 2023. So during your needed time to connect to the energies of this full moon, also do check out the demands of Saturn now in your individual life. Saturn is fated square the nodal axis. Identify his demands, understand them. Check if you are responding to the divine face of Saturn, Lord Shani, Lord of Karma, in the right way. This is a time to be responsible and disciplined. This is a time to have developed your right strategy forward, have you? This is a time to dot the I's and cross the T's. The point is, if we do obey Lord Shani, Saturn's demands, then we do achieve golden reaping. But if we fail to understand the demands of Saturn or flout them, we feel suffering. So I'm wishing you all success in understanding the big energies of the June the 14th full moon. I hope this presentation has been helpful and deeply learned. Do watch out for the following video coming up suggesting useful vision work with the full moon energies. So you can book an astrology reading with me at my Star Wheel Astrology buy page. And my wife Maggie Pashley offers an immense range of healing modalities worldwide. See her www.maggiepashley.com website. So I hope this has been helpful to build understanding and indeed to prepare us for the next step, the vision work around the time of this full moon. A video I'll be publishing shortly. Thank you.